Hey, this is Bob from Dogwatch Cigar Radio.
And this is Dale, and you're watching a video review on StogieReview.com.
Excellent.
That one sounded okay.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Stogie Review Video Review. And, well, as you know by now, I am Walt, and I do these things once a week. And if you were following along last week, I smoked the Padilla Obsidian, and I mentioned that I was going to be smoking the Top Shelf Signature Select, which is a house blend made by Tropical Tobacco for Jim Cronin and Top Shelf Cigar Company down in Skip Pack, Pennsylvania. And for the time being, the cigar is only available in one size, which is the Toro. There's actually two of these. There's the black label, which I'm smoking now, and there's also a blue label. Of the two, the blue label is supposed to be the milder of the bunch, and I'm smoking the more full-bodied cigar. And this is a 52 by 6, and these are made in Honduras with Nicaraguan filler, Nicaraguan binder, and from the looks of it, a Nicaraguan wrapper as well. Now, a little bit of information to break down that blend a little bit for you. The filler is made up of Criollo 98 tobacco from the Jalapa Valley with a single high priming Ligero leaf. And the high priming Ligero leaf is there for strength. The higher the priming, the more strength behind it. They prime these tobacco plants from the bottom up. So you're going to get the top priming is going to be a lot more sun, a lot of oil, just a lot of exposure and nutrients. So it's going to be a much fuller leaf. The lost my place here. The binder is a 98 Criollo tobacco wrapper as well from Esteli, Nicaragua, and the wrapper is made up of a high priming 99 Criollo leaf from the Jalapa Valley. So, you know, that's an oddity. This information is right there on TopShelfCigar.com, which is really nice to see detailed blends or detailed cigar blends. You know, right there for the public to see. Generally, it's you know, Nicaraguan filler, Nicaraguan wrapper, Honduran binder, for instance, and that's it. You know, they don't break the cigar down any further than that. It's really nice to see some detailed information, so you can get a general idea of what's going on in the cigar. You know, you don't just think, oh, it's Nicaraguan, I don't know what else is in there, but you know, it's really nice. But I don't quite remember the price tag on these. I think they're between $5 and $6 per stick, and which is pretty reasonable. But in any case, I'm gonna get started here. Just before I turned the camera on, I started looking over the wrapper, and it's got a milk chocolate sort of color to it. It's not a real deep brown looking color, but it's rich, sort of milky looking, and milky as in, you know, a lot more milk in the milk chocolate kind of a thing. And it's got small thin veins, it's got a smooth texture, and it feels very firm and compacted when you give it a little squeeze, with minimal spring, which tells me that the cigar is just loaded with tobacco. There's no soft spots, no hard spots, and you know, it's going to be consistent throughout. But with that said, I'm pairing this cigar up. This is my third one. I'm pairing this cigar up with a cup of coffee, Sumatra Mandalay coffee, and really that's all there is to it at this point. So give me a second, I'm going to finish toasting and lighting my cigar, and I'll be right back for the first third.
We keep looking and searching for something to pass the time. Found what consumes me and dances right through me all the time. Let's look together and make ourselves better through time. Wait for the light to give us some sight in our minds.
Well, welcome back. And as you can see, it's about time to start talking about the first third of my Top Shelf Signature Select Black Label. It's a bit of a mouthful to say, but it's a nice cigar to start. Now, right after I cut the camera off, I got the cigar toasted, evenly lit. The draw was a little snug. It's easily manageable, not a big deal. And I got thick, dense smoke, which is always a big plus as far as I'm concerned. The dense smoke is the type that's easy to get through your sinuses. You can kind of blow smoke rings with it. Just kind of lingers around the room, which is, and all in all, it's the type of smoke that you want out of a cigar. The type that's just easy to manipulate and fun to manipulate anyway. The body starts off in the medium range. It's not overwhelming. It's nice, smooth from the start. Smooth finish. Excuse me. The finish has got a little bit of a tart flavor to it, which is nice. And the base flavor is along the lines of a sweet spice. And again, that tart kind of flavor carries through as an aftertaste. And it's very unique to the cigar, and it's very appealing as far as I'm concerned. It's something that I haven't really tasted a whole lot of in a cigar. Now, I've had tart flavors in cigars before, but this is a little different, and I really can't put my finger on what exactly it is. But I like it nonetheless. And the ash on the cigar holds for about an inch. I just so happened to set it down, started typing up a little bit of stuff here, and as soon as I picked it up, I had the ash drop off, which isn't totally surprising. I mean, a lot of cigars hold on for about an inch. There are other cigars that hold on much longer, but an inch seems to be the median there. At least with a lot of cigars that I smoke. I don't like to really let them get much longer than that, because they always end up in my lap for whatever reason. Now, the ash itself is dark in color. It's got sort of like a zebra stripe banding down it, which is pretty nice to look at. Really doesn't mean anything. And the ash is dark because of the Criollo tobacco, which is actually a hybrid of Corojo tobacco. And I've never smoked a Corojo cigar that I can remember having a light ash on. So it's just an interesting note there. And the Criollo tobacco is a hybrid of Corojo, and it was produced to replace the earlier Corojo hybrid, which was the Habana 2000. This one replaces, or is a Corojo hybrid, because it's blended with some other seeds, and it's resilient to blue mold, which can be very detrimental to cigars. But not that any of that really means anything. It's just something I wanted to note, because the ash was dark, and I sort of knew why. But anyway, so far the cigar is going really well. It's behaving nicely, nice even burn, slow burn. As I mentioned, the draw is a little stiff, but it's easily managed, and I don't feel like I'm really overworking the cigar to get smoke out of it, and it's staying cool, which is a big plus. A lot of times when I get a cigar that's got a real tight draw, you end up puffing on it a lot, and it gets hot. The draw is not snug enough where I'm over puffing on it and overheating the cigar. So everything's going well to start. So really, that's all there is to say about the cigar in the first third. As I mentioned, I'm pairing this with black coffee, and I think this cigar would be better suited with something else, but it's going well with the coffee. Not quite sure why. Why it would be better suited. I just think that it would be better suited with something else. I just decided I smoked the first two with water, and I just threw the coffee in there as just something to mix it up a little bit, and not quite as good as I was hoping, but not bad nonetheless. So I may ditch the coffee and switch over to water at some point. But in any case, I'm going to take a quick break, and I will be right back, and we'll get started with the second third. Well, welcome back. I'm moving my way through the cigar, and I'm at the 2/3 part now, or the second third, as I always write it up. And I've only experienced one flavor change to this point, which was really nice, by the way. The base flavor from the beginning up until just recently was a sweet spice with this sort of tart-like aftertaste. And very slowly in the second third, that sweet spice kind of steps back, and you get this really rich Criollo tobacco flavor that steps forward in its place. And really, that's been the only change so far, and it was a really nice change. Now, the flavor I'm branding Criollo tobacco is very close to the same flavor I call Corojo tobacco flavor. So there is a lot of similarity between that, the flavor I get out of this and I get out of a Corojo cigar. But in any case, that was the only change so far, and it was a really nice change. It was smooth and slow, and it was just really nice. It didn't jump on you all of a sudden. And there was a quote on the Top Shelf Cigar website, and that is that Jim places balance and complexity of flavor at the top of his criteria when selecting blends. And I really think that shows with this cigar. I mean, there isn't a whole lot of back and forth from one flavor to the next, with there only being one flavor change so far. But the cigar has been very consistent and complex, and just it's been a joy to smoke. And I thought that that quote was really fit the bill, and it was worth bringing up. The body has picked up ever so slightly. It's still firmly planted in the medium range, and the finish is smooth, easy on the palate, and it's leaving me with a mild, creamy texture on the walls of my mouth and tongue. And when you kind of mold all that together, you've got a really enjoyable cigar so far. It's and that kind of tart-like flavor is still getting me. I don't know what it is. But it's unique to the cigar. I really like it. And really, that's all there is to the second third, as far as the smoke, the flavors and all that go. Just as before, it's burning very well. It's got a thin burn line, even. The ash is dropping off at about an inch. I'm purposely knocking it off at about an inch each time, and it just takes a gentle tap and off it goes. The ash itself is being, it's staying compacted. There's no flakiness or random ash dropping all over the place. It's a good smoking cigar, and it's very well behaved. Now, I have no idea how many of you that are watching this video live in Pennsylvania, but if you're ever in the Skip Pack area, definitely check out Jim's store. It's not quite what it seems, in that I know I mentioned in the Blue Label that I used to go by his store every now and then, going down Route 73 through Skip Pack, and I always saw the sign. I looked back and saw the store, and I always thought, that's a little place. It's in a very expensive town. So I never really gave any thought to going in. And one day I decided, well, I'm going to check it out. And it's amazing. The store looks tiny from the outside. It's not a very big store, but Jim's got cigars everywhere in that place. And he's got a great selection and very nice prices. So if you're ever in the area, definitely make it a point to check out Jim's store and give his house blends a try. They are, very nice. I really don't think you'll be disappointed with Jim's name-branded sticks. He's done very well with them. At least the ones I've tried. I've had the blue, black, and I've had the green a while back. I'm going to have to revisit that one. It's a Don Pepin Garcia blend. So for anyone interested, and I talked to Jim a while back when I did the Blue Label review, and these are available to order. He doesn't have ordering on his website. You have to give him a call, and he'd be more than happy to fulfill an order for you. So if you feel the need to order the Black Label after this review, or the Blue Label, or whatever else you want to order, give Jim a call and tell him where you saw the review, and tell him what you want, and I'm sure he'll get it right out to you. But in any case, Oh, before I get out of here, elapsed time right about now. I've been at this cigar for an hour and a half, and it's burning, nice and slow, even, no complaints whatsoever. So with that said, I'm going to take a quick break. Be back. We'll do the final third, wrap things up, and I'll let you be on your way.
And bones you're looking at right now. Am I worth your time? Are you worth mine? I've walked the roads you set before me, mostly without complaint, 'cause I was too dumb to put up much of a fight, and you were too strong to ever let me go on my own. You were a salesman from the start.
Welcome back, and as you can see, it's about time to wrap up the Top Shelf Signature Select Black Label, and it's been really enjoyable so far. There was one more flavor change throughout the final third, and basically it went from this rich Criollo tobacco flavor. It kind of stepped back, just as that sweet spice did before, and that sweet spice stepped forward once again. So I'm getting this real nice sweet spice flavor with this rich underlying Criollo tobacco flavor, and the cigar still has that tart-like flavor in the background. And just as before, I really like this flavor combination. The sweet spice becomes really apparent when you blow it through your sinuses, and just like before, the smoke is very dense, and it's really easy to do that with. When you get the smoke through your sinuses, that spice gives you a little bit of a stinging sensation through your sinuses. So it's not something you'd want to try with this cigar if you've never passed smoke through your sinuses. It may be a little bit much, but all in all, I'm really happy with the cigar. The body has been pretty consistent. It's creeped up into the medium to full range, but it's not overwhelming. And the finish is still smooth, easy on the palate, and it leaves me with this mild, creamy texture on the walls of my mouth and tongue, just like it did before. So there's been no change there. And the behavior of the cigar itself has been, just as it has been throughout the entire cigar. The burn line's nice and thin. It's even. It's burning well. It's getting a little warm now, but that's expected when the cigar is beginning to get this short. I've been at this for about 2.5 hours now. I'll probably get another, maybe a half an hour out of it. So I'm looking at a solid 3-hour cigar, and I've been really happy with it. Nice, slow burning, rich cigar, and there's just I can't say enough about it. I'm just really happy with it. Now the downside to this cigar is that it's a house blend, so it's a little tougher to get. You're not going to be able to just walk into your local cigar shop and pick one up, unless of course you're in the skip pack area and you swing by Jim's place. But from what I'm told, these cigars are going to be available at the wholesale level to cigar shops. So if this sounds like something you really want to try, maybe talk to your cigar shop owner and have them contact Jim, and you never know, maybe you will be able to get them locally. And now the size of the cigar, being a Toro, it's a little bit bigger than what I smoke on a day-to-day basis. I prefer like a Robusto or smaller, and I was happy to hear that Tropical Tobacco is going to be making these available in Cuban Corona size at Jim's request. So the smaller size is certainly going to be a winner for me. It's not that Toros are just too much. It's just that I'm a slow smoker, and 3 hours is a lot of time to set aside for a single cigar. But in any case, it was a good smoke nonetheless. And really, that about does it for the Jim Cronin Top Shelf Signature Select from Top Shelf Cigars. If it sounds like something you want to give a try, hit up Jim on TopShelfCigar.com. There's a phone number there you can call, get pricing, availability, and order them right then and there. Well, you'll have to call and order them right then and there. But I'm sure you'll be happy with Jim's service and his cigars. You know, like I've said, this is my third of Jim's house blend, and you know, I'm real happy with it. As far as what's coming up next, I'll be reviewing. I've been meaning to get to some other samples that I received from you know, Battleground Cigars. I'll be smoking the Old Powder Keg, which is very popular in the Gettysburg and what is that other town? Well, it's big in Gettysburg, PA, and it's big in a town in Maryland. You know, they're more popular there, you know, because of the, you know, the Civil War area. So they do well, and they're available there. Aside from that, I think you can get them at a couple of online retailers, but I'll look more into that, you know, right before I do the review, and I'll share that information with you as I get it. And again, that'll be the Battlegrounds Old Powder Keg, and well, I'm looking forward to hearing what you have to say about the review. So until next week, happy smoking.